Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Markin Out episode 809. Unfortunately, this week, Dory Funk Jr. passed away at the age of 85. He was part of the Funk wrestling family. He and his brother, Terry Funk, were trained by his father, their father, Dory Funk Sr. He won championships throughout different promotions as tag team, as a singles competitor, including the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, which he held for 4 years, which is the longest reign for that championship without combining different reigns. He trained a bunch of wrestlers at the Funkin' Conservatory, the Funkin' Dojo, wrestlers who'd go on to become Hall of Famers as well, like Ted DiBiase, Edge, Kurt Angle, Mark Henry, Rikishi, Lita. He trained the Hardy Boys, Christian, Test, Mickey James, Albert Kurgan, Steve Blackman, Crash Holly, Gangrel, Chris Hero, Corey Graves, Mansoor. The list goes on and on. He got guys back in ring shape after injuries, like Dr. Death, Earthquake, another Hall of Famer, William Regal. Also, Dr. Death is a Hall of Famer as well. But he worked with guys from Japan like Jumbo Tsuruta, Kenta Kobashi. There are so many branches of wrestlers who trained under him who then went on to train other wrestlers. He's inspired many different generations of pro wrestling. In 2024, he went viral for his final match, which was a double hell current explosion death match where he teamed with Osamu Nishimura against Onita and Raijin Yaguchi in Japan for FMWE, which was a memorial show for Terry Funk as well as a celebration for Onita's 50th year in pro wrestling, which was just absolutely crazy that at that age that happened. But our thoughts and condolences go out to his family, his friends, and the fans all over the world. WWE paid tribute, AEW, TNA paid tribute, all these companies paid tribute, all these wrestlers, all these stories that just like poured out from on social media about Dory Funk Jr. and what they meant to them and their careers and their families. I know Natty posted a very nice post about her, about Stu Hart and the Funks. So it's just, it's very unfortunate.
It really is. And the Funks are just legendary. You know, they're just like if you say the Von Erich family, right up there, the Hart family, you have the Funk family. Yeah. You know, it's right up there. It's one of the legendary families within professional wrestling. And just as a tag team, they were incredible. And I mean,
as a singles competitor, he was incredible.
Yeah. Singles as well. And it's really unfortunate. And just hearing all the stories coming out about Dory Funk and things that he has contributed to pro wrestling and even outside of pro wrestling, it's special and it's unfortunate. And like you said, our condolences to his family and friends.
And we'd like to pay tribute to Dory Funk Jr. with a 10-bell salute.
This is Markin Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling Fans. We marking out, y'all. Follow on Twitter. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling Fans. We marking out, y'all. Marking Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling Fans. We marking out, y'all. Spreading like fisting. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling Fans. We marking out, y'all. We're marking out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling Fans.
Welcome to Markin Out. Pro Wrestling Talk by Pro Wrestling Fans. This is episode 809. Thanks for listening. Check us out at markinout.com. Also on Spotify and wherever else you are listening to podcasts, make sure you give us a rating and a 5-star rating. But make sure that you give us a review. Buy a t-shirt for wrestlingtees.com/markingout. Give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at markinout, Instagram at markinout11, and on TikTok at markinout. You never know when we may be going on TikTok live, so make sure you give us a follow over there. Tell your family and your friends. And also, just keep on supporting us. But that being said, you can follow me on social media platforms. That's right, it is Dave the Rave. And that is David PT, DPT. Follow Chris at CM Sweeney85 and Chris Sweendog. And follow Brandon at BTTG161. Brandon, how are you?
I am doing awesome as always. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm doing great. Fantastic. Exhausted. Sleepwalking right now. Going on 3 hours. I got an espresso in front of me. Trying to just chug it along right now. You know? What about you?
Great day. I didn't do anything of note this week. I didn't get soda spilled on me, so that's a plus.
Hey, there you go. I dig it. That's nice.
But
that's nice.
Basically just watched a bunch of wrestling this week.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, same.
We had SummerSlam live from Minnesota, which kicked off night one. Vaughn Evelyn, the daughter of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, performed God Bless America, and then dealt with the wrath of the IWC, because the IWC is just absolutely toxic, garbage, disgusting human beings.
Like, what the hell is wrong with all of you?
Truly,
what the hell
truly
is wrong
awful.
with all of you?
Truly awful.
Brandon, how old is she?
I believe she might be 15 years old.
She
literally, I don't think she sounded bad at all. She sounded like a 15-year-old singing.
Okay, first off, she's 15 years old. What the hell is your issues, everybody? Leave her alone. I'm sorry that they didn't get XYZ celebrity number.
No, it has nothing to do with them getting XYZ. It's because they don't like WWE, they don't like Triple H, they don't like Stephanie McMahon. They're garbage human beings.
So you're gonna
truly are.
So you're gonna take it out on a 15-year-old girl?
Yes, that's what the IWC does. Garbage humans.
That is disgusting.
Yep.
You know, and I agree with you. You know, I wasn't watching the TV at the time when she was singing, but I heard her singing, and I was just like, oh, she's doing good. You know, I thought that she did a good job, and to me, it sounded like she was a 15-year-old kid doing the national anthem, just like the God Bless America, just like you would hear sometimes at Citi Field or any other sporting event where maybe a kid was doing the song. Guess what? It sounded just like that to me. I had no issues with it. Awful people.
And I honestly, like I said, I thought she was good. So
yeah, I agree. She's
scum people.
Hey, you know what? I mean, the both of us wish her all the best. Hopefully, she does. If this is the field and setting that she really wants to be in, hey, go for it. And I have a feeling that she's not being served everything on a silver platter for her as well. I'm sure that they're going to make her earn it and work hard for it.
Right.
You know, so good on her, and I hope that her parents are protecting her from the IWC toxicity, and I hope that she's not being impacted by it. You know, I hope that she's protected from all that crap out there.
Yeah.
But next up,
ringside, we had some pro wrestlers, some non-pro wrestlers throughout the night. They showed Mark Henry, X-Pac, Dan Spivey, who's been at now multiple events for WWE. Very unexpected to see every single time we see Dan Spivey.
I mean, could that be a sign of a potential Hall of Fame induction? Like,
who knows?
Or maybe, do they have an action figure of Spivey yet?
They do not have anything. I know a 2-pack with him and Bray Wyatt would be pretty cool.
So maybe that's what this is leading up to, because honestly, I don't know him as a Hall of Fame career because of WWF, right? Outside of WWF, he may have had a stellar career. But if this could lead to him being
he was
definitely
big in Japan.
Yeah, that's the thing. It could be a first in line ringside collectible figure or something like that they announce. I could definitely see something like that happening with Dan Spivey.
Jimmy Hart was ringside.
Jimmy Hart. I'm so happy to see him always at live events.
Yeah.
You know?
Michael Chandler was there.
Yeah, Zach Brown.
Zach Brown, by the way, Minnesota on Saturday night flies to Boston for a concert on Sunday night where he gifted every single person at Fenway Park a cruise.
That's wild.
He's I believe he's got a new Margaritaville cruise coming out, which I've heard some very not so great things about the Margaritaville line of cruise ships. Although I have a friend who absolutely loves them, which is crazy after reading all the reviews. But Busted Open sat ringside as well. And I want to acknowledge, I listened to both nights of commentary from Vic Joseph and Booker T on WWE Radio. We didn't even mention that Busted Open is now part of WWE Radio, which took over for the Sirius XM channel. But
yeah, that was big news. I mean, IWC was not happy about that one either.
No, they were not. And I think Booker T and Vic Joseph did an absolutely incredible job. And it was cool hearing similar calls from Vic Joseph and Michael Cole. And yeah. I think it was also really cool. Like, Vic Joseph filled in so many gaps where Michael Cole and Wade Barrett were silent to like really explain what was happening. There was a blind fans post that went viral. And it basically said that they haven't felt that kind of inclusivity in almost 20 years.
I gotta agree with you. When I heard the play-by-play commentary, when they were going through, like, showing, like, what is taking place over here, and hearing Vic Joseph and stuff like that, it was weird. It reminded me as if I was listening to a baseball game being called by, like, Keith Hernandez or something on the radio and stuff like that. You know, it was just weird to hear commentary play-by-play of pro wrestling taking place on the radio, because I was like, how detailed he really was. It wasn't talking about the storylines. It wasn't talking about XYZ, like, not really taking place in the match, but it was like verbatim what was taking place in the ring. And I thought that was really cool, you know?
And it was also,
by any chance,
I liked the fact that they played, like, all the audio. It was like literally like you were watching a feed of SummerSlam. And I had no idea. I couldn't picture in my head how that was, like, how any of this was going to sound. I honestly just thought it was going to be them calling the match. I didn't think we were going to hear the match and everything, which that's like a very positive thing that we heard everything. Obviously I'm watching SummerSlam at the same time, so I see the call that he's calling. I don't know how it was for everyone else. Obviously that one fan was like, that's like a very high praise. I saw somebody else say that they threw it on in the car when they went out to grab dinner real quick, and it was just it was great.
Yeah. Now, with just to stay on the topic of all this, is Busted Open covering anything AEW now?
I don't think they're covering anything AEW. I think they'll still be negative about WWE, but I never listened to Busted Open beforehand, so it would like never. The only time I literally first signed into SiriusXM's account on my computer to listen to SummerSlam, and then I I turned it on during Monday Night Raw to see if they also had commentary, which they just play the Monday Night Raw feed. So
that's the thing
PLEs will have Vic Joseph and Booker T.
That's the thing I don't like is, like, I did enjoy Busted Open to hear some about AEW or the interviews with AEW wrestlers, because I don't really watch it on a weekly basis. So listening to it here and there, it never really bothered me. You don't watch it on a yearly basis. Very true, very true. But I think that it's not, I personally don't think it's a good thing to cut out all of pro wrestling, and I'm curious to see where they're going to put just the other wrestling talk that's taking place instead of it being catered to WWE. Hopefully,
well, I mean, obviously they have TNA, so.
Yeah. Well, first matchup of the night was Liv Morgan picking the victory over Io Sky to retain her championship, and this matchup was very good, but we still had the interference aspects, which I guess we had to expect. I mean, especially with the way that everything's going with Liv Morgan. Yeah. And in my opinion, I wanted Io.
Raquel chokeslammed Io, and she kicked out. And eventually took them out with a moonsault to the outside. Liv Morgan move from the Bullet Train attack, but Io ends up catching the Oblivion attempt. She hits her own Oblivion. I thought that was great. She missed the over the moonsault again. She gets hit by a code breaker. Liv tried again for the Oblivion, and Io ends up ducking it. She hits a move on I think maybe a German suplex or something on the apron. Hits that running bullet, the Bullet Train attack on the apron again into the ring post. So I think that's they play up that injury again. She missed the over the moonsault again, and Liv was able to hit the Oblivion. Actually, she didn't hit the Oblivion because Io popped out of it. And I thought that was great, but then she ate an Oblivion and lost the match, which I thought was unexpected. You thought was unexpected.
Yeah. I'm torn on this, because I've been vocal. Yeah, like on one hand, I personally don't like what they've been doing with Liv Morgan. And also, on the other hand, I don't put that on Liv Morgan at all.
Yeah, we obviously see what's happening now, so...
Yeah, like the both of us, we're smarter than that. We know that it's booking. It's not Liv Morgan. The only thing that I am curious about, because she hasn't defended it in 100 days, is whether or not she actually had an injury that just wasn't put out there, and maybe that's what they were protecting her for, and they just spun it into the storyline and everything like that. I am curious if maybe she got hit in the head during a match by accident, and she was just on protocol a little bit, or they were just observing stuff, and they were like, you know what, let's just play it safe and let her recover, which it makes total sense. But otherwise, it's so hard for me to wrap my head around the entire...
I mean, the answer seems to just be Stephanie Vicaire.
Yeah. Well, overall, I'm really disappointed that it wasn't Io, because
but the match was fire.
Io, and
they cooked big time.
The match was fire, and yeah, I just wish it was Io. But next up, you had Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Royce Keys picked up victory over the Bloodline, and I apologize, Brandon.
I know why you're apologizing.
Yeah, I know. It happens each time. I apologize.
It's funny because this match started out so chaotic, and then we see that personality from Solo Sikoa where he's like rubbing it in Jay's face and runs it back, and the crowd went absolutely wild for that. They went absolutely nuts for when he started yeeting.
That was hilarious. Just absolutely hilarious that they did that.
And it broke down into the move. That power slam from Royce Keys to Jacob Fatu over at the timekeeper area I thought was nuts. I liked Solo hitting that spike on Jimmy when they were going for that 1D. And then LA Knight hit a BFT that looked fantastic. And Knight, it looks like he's not trusting Solo after the match, ends up hugging him. I thought this was fun.
That's a big takeaway. This was a fun match, It was a little bit chaotic to follow at times, but it was fun. Nothing wrong with a fun match on a pay-per-view or at any point.
And it makes sense.
Next, yeah, I agree with you. It makes total sense to do this. Next up, you had Gunther pick up the victory over Nick Aldis, and I gotta say, I marked out for Nick Aldis coming out to Oasis.
One hit wonder.
It just sounded so cool. And he was wearing his attire from 2K.
No, he wasn't.
I thought that he was. I saw a clip that he was wearing.
He wasn't. I don't know how people... You have side-by-side images. They're clearly not the same. I don't know how people circulated that.
Well, there you go.
But I think Nick Aldis did absolutely incredible here. Mickie James, his wife, was ringside with their son. And I think it definitely reminded people that Nick Aldis is a pro wrestler. Yeah. He had the fans hooked in this match. They had him hooked with that cloverleaf spot. Is Gunther about to tap out to that? And then Gunther ends up locking in a sleeper, which was it was immediately reversed by Nick Aldis into another sleeper. And he kicks out of the power bomb. Gunther ends up getting the sleeper. Nick Aldis tried to fight out of that, but Gunther locked it in more and gets the victory there.
Yeah, I was a big fan of this, and Aldis just
he got a standing ovation.
Yeah, showing us and the WWE Universe that he could still do it, and even showing himself, I'm sure, that he could still do it, because his emotional
might be one of the biggest crowds that he's ever wrestled in, certainly for a long time at least.
Exactly, like on what was it? They mentioned on CVV how emotional he was and everything, and this match was so meaningful. I don't think he needs another WWE match at all.
I wouldn't say no, though.
I wouldn't say no, too. It's nice to see that he still got it, right?
Yeah.
But it was nice. I mean, even to have his child come in the ring with Mickie James, too.
Yeah. And then later on, he tried to give Triple H his letter of resignation, and Triple H ripped it up. He's like, I understand how you reacted the way you reacted. You went out there and did exactly what I would have done. You're reinstated as the general manager.
Mm-hmm.
And people complained, why didn't they do this week after week and have him try to get his job back? Well, everything that they did in that segment with Triple H completely covers the mutual respect and reason why Triple H gave him the job back. You don't need to have Nick Aldis chase week after week. Oh, please let me have my job back, sir. How stupid. What would be the point? You're taking up TV time for a general manager storyline? For what reason?
Yeah, it's not needed. Not needed for that stuff.
After that, we saw Fatal Influence pick up the victory over Fearless Scream Mode. This was, I think, such a big match for Fatal Influence, and I was happy with this match. Could have been longer, for sure.
They did great. Fatal Influence did incredible, and I feel like this is what Fatal Influence needed, because after their debut on the main roster, when they came up, they were so hot, and then I feel like it kind of fizzled a little bit, but this is what we need from them, and they did phenomenal. All three of them, just incredible.
I liked Laney Reed going around the ring to stop Brie from a hot tag. When Nikki had that rack attack, I thought for sure that was about to be it, and I was like, "Well, I don't want this to be it." But it wasn't it. The Bellas also tried for the heart attack, which was interrupted. Fatal Influence hit a double team move. Paige broke that up, and it was a bit chaotic. But Paige ends up distracted with Fallon. JC hits the rolling encore, gets the victory, and then a big storyline. Afterwards, we saw the Bella Twins attack Paige. Unfortunately, during the match, Brie broke her shoulder blade.
Yeah, I didn't even know that took place, or would have never even
when she did that move, it looked like her shoulder, like she was. I didn't know if she was selling or what, but that's very unfortunate, because you just have this big heel turn, and now it's just gonna sit on ice.
I know. I mean, it's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Hopefully, we wish her a speedy recovery, too.
Yeah.
Next up, CM Punk pick up the victory over Cody Rhodes to retain his championship. And I don't care what people say. This match was fun. This match was good.
I will say, though, the chairs for SummerSlam said street fight for this match. And it wasn't a street fight. And I don't know if they meant to write Street Fighter or what, but which is another thing people obviously they marked out for. And I thought the video game aspect was cool. People were like, "This is AI."
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's
AI. I marked out
or
for
not,
that too.
But
I marked out for the video game.
But yeah, Punk worked on Cody's arm throughout the match. He ends up hurting his knee, which then Cody was able to work throughout the match. But after Hell in a Cell with that torn pec, I feel like his arm being hurt is so minimal to me.
Mm-hmm.
But what they did with those attacks, I thought were good. They got me with that crossroads spot. Punk hit a very Terry moonsault, completely missed, which we've seen him do before.
I mean, that's the thing. I'm like, I feel bad for him, but on the other hand,
we've seen him do that before. Like, we've literally
we've seen him do it before.
That. Dating all the way back to Ring of Honor. So, and people are like, he didn't mean to miss. We've literally seen him do that spot before, so I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And then
it was just a throwback to him.
He hit the GTS, which was kicked out of twice. Punk dropped an elbow through the commentary. That was a crazy spot. The whole, like, the way he landed on that table was nuts. And Cody moved,
that was insane.
Of course. We saw Charles Robinson get taken out by mistake, and then CM Punk did the GTS with the low energy lifting one, which I would prefer to not see anymore. I feel like we've seen it way too many times.
I know.
Cody hit a crossroads.
It's like every big match with CM Punk, we've seen it. I mean, we started it in AEW, and we've seen it in WWE. Just please,
we did see all three members of the Shield, I believe, take that.
I think so.
And then after that crossroads, Randy Orton ran out, struck Cody Rhodes with the RKO. Tons of cheers. Cody was booed in the match, by the way. And then CM Punk hit another GTS and got the victory there.
Good matchup.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was a good matchup. No problem with it or anything like that. It was a good matchup.
Main event of night one saw Femi pick up the victory over Brock Lesnar inside the Hell in a Cell. Brock hit the three German suplexes almost immediately, and Femi popped right up. He sent Brock Lesnar through a table that was set up ringside. Brock bashed Femi with the steps. The spots with the steps were crazy. All those dents and everything. They used chairs. Oba reversed an F5 and hit that spine buster. He got out of another F5 and hit another spine buster. Hits the fall from grace. Lesnar kicks out. He got up, hit multiple F5s, and Femi kicked out. And then Brock Lesnar ripped up the mat, which I would love to know what their people's names on those mats.
I don't think that he actually ripped the names, though.
It looks like some of them got ripped.
I don't know.
If they gave you like a piece of a ripped mat or something, I feel like maybe that's cool. Like it's a cool piece of memorabilia.
To me, it looked like it was just tucked underneath.
I don't think so. But he ripped up to expose the boards. He went for an F5 and then turned it into a tombstone, which Femi kicks out, and everyone's like, the IWC, he didn't sell. He didn't sell. Nick Jackson did it better. He didn't sell. And then Femi, which is so ridiculous to say he didn't sell. It's so ridiculous. And then he hits the fall from grace again, gets the victory. Brock gets back in the ring. He hugs Femi. He raises his arm and announced Femi as the future of WWE.
Yeah, and he said that he's the past of the WWE. He said he's the past.
And then he went on Pat McAfee's show to say he's 100% retired.
Crazy.
We saw one of Brock's earliest main roster matches as a dark match against Crash Holly, Nassau Coliseum. Less than a year later, he main evented in that same venue to take that championship from Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. He had quite the career.
100%. There's nothing that you could say otherwise about it. Just an incredible career, and incredible career.
SummerSlam Night 2 kicked off. Darius Rucker performed the Star Spangled Banner. Perhaps he should have done that in his Ric Flair robe. He was also on the kickoff show. That was quite nice to see him there.
Yeah, agreed.
Although they didn't ask about the segment from ECW on the Abraham Washington show where Shelton Benjamin and Zack Ryder both performed Hootie and the Blowfish. Who knows if he even knows that exists. But
that's funny.
Throughout the night, they had ringside, they had the cast of Super Troopers 3. which was cool to see them. The Killer Bees, I was not expecting to see them there at all. In gimmick.
That was a
cool.
surprise.
Rick Martel was there, Greg Gagne, Molly Holly, all of these great wrestlers from Minnesota. Justin Jefferson from the Vikings hyped up the crowd for the main event. But the very first match, we were supposed to see Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn for that number one contender spot. And before it began, Nick Aldis came out, and he goes, I have to add somebody to this match. Or well, I forget exactly how he worded it, but he announces that Gunther was going to be part of this match, and until I saw Gunther in his gear, I was like, oh, that's kind of funny that he's making Gunther the guest referee.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came out in gear. I was like, wait a minute, this is a triple threat match now? And then, of course,
That's
Nick
funny.
Aldis announced that it's not a triple threat match. It's a fatal four-way, and Kevin Owens, after such a long time, returned. He looked great. I'm glad that he's back.
The fans went crazy for him, too.
I thought the neck spots with Kevin Owens that they did were good spots here.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy went for that haluva kick, and Gunther locked him in a sleeper. Balor hits the coup de grace, which kind of seemed like a 3 count.
Yeah.
Gunther broke it up, but it kind of seemed like a 3 count. And eventually Kevin Owens hit the stunner on everybody. He pinned Sami Zayn. I feel like Finn Balor was a major afterthought in this match, and that sucked.
I agree, and I wish that he was not an afterthought.
Very
Because we
intrigued
do
by
wanna see-
Kevin Owens versus CM Punk. We have never seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's crazy.
I'm very intrigued by that, but I'm like, I was so torn there. I was very happy to see Kevin Owens. It sucked for Finn Balor. So we'll see what happens there.
I agree with you 100%. But next up, you had Baron Corbin pick up the victory over Trick Williams to become the new United States champion. This one, I'm torn with too. You know, it's nice to see Baron Corbin back, but I was really liking what they were doing with Trick Williams.
Yeah. And Trick started this on fire. The one thing I didn't understand, Trick set up a table. Him and Lil Yachty set up a table for some reason, and the ref, didn't even care.
Mm-hmm.
On the opposite side of the ring, Baron Corbin hit a deep 6 outside. Eventually, Baron Corbin drove Lil Yachty into the barricade, and he grabbed his kendo stick to back Corbin off. And then later, Baron Corbin tried to use the title, which Lil Yachty stopped him, and then Trick accidentally caused Lil Yachty to fall off the apron, go right through that table. And Baron Corbin cheated, so that at least there's that from this match. He used that title, he hit the end of days and got the victory there.
Yeah.
So there's
I
that
guess
one
you could-
upside to that where I'm happy to see Baron Corbin back in the company. I don't mind that
Of
he's
course.
United States champion, but Trick Williams was on absolute fire.
Yeah, I don't want to see the fire that he's been on get put out right now. I feel like
Especially
right
'cause
now is going to be...
I don't foresee him going to the WWE Championship.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, right now it's going to be a really big, important, I think, moment for Trick Williams in his career where he has to be able to overcome losing it now. So we'll find out what happens, though. Next up, you had my favorite matchup. Chelsea Green picked up the victory over Charlotte Flair, Jade Cargill, Lash Legend, and Tiffany Stratton in a ladder match to become the new... Do I have to say interim?
I
The
don't
new
know.
champion.
I feel like you're champion. I don't know. I don't want to say interim champion.
Yeah, why do we have to say interim?
Well,
You know,
once this
she earned
match
it.
got started, it was pretty crazy. There were 3 or 4 ladder spots in a row.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Chelsea
They
and
did
Tiffany
amazing.
eventually work together. Jade at one point grabbed Chelsea from the ladder and hit Jaded onto another ladder. the power bomb spot from Lash Legend on that bridging ladder I thought was wild.
It was epic.
And then later, Tiffany Stratton, her and Chelsea Green in these matches have been like absolute MVPs. She moved the ladder away from the title, obviously to get it closer to the spot where she needed to be. And Chelsea ends up tipping that ladder, dumping her onto everybody else outside the ring. And you think Chelsea's about to win it right there. The baddies show up. Charlotte takes them out, and then everyone else fought off.
All dressed in Prince gear, too.
Yeah. Well, so was Jade. But they all fought off the ladders. Chelsea was there, hung upside down. She does an Undertaker sit-up on the ladder.
And the crowd went wild.
She climbs up. That pop was absolutely nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, her and Matt might be the only married couple in WWE history to have ever won ladder matches.
Yeah.
I tried looking everything up. I don't think there's anybody else.
Yeah. I would agree with you on that one. I think so too. But just an incredible moment. And, you know, you saw Matt in the crowd with the family and...
No cowboy hat.
So
bit disappointed.
You had a moment, Matt. Matt, you had your opportunity to bring back the cowboy hat, and you chose not to.
Bit
that
disappointed.
Was a choice. That was a choice, you know? But, yeah, we're so happy for Chelsea Green. And the fact that she actually dedicated her title win to Michael Hayes, too.
Yeah, that was funny.
Like, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. That is just... And I feel like the only person that can do that and then get away with it right now, dare I say, is Chelsea Green. Like, she's... I feel like everybody is just a fan of her because they recognize her ethic and dedication to pro wrestling, like what she has done to get to where she's at.
It's been years trying to get there.
Yeah, so I feel like everybody kind of recognizes that around her, and they know that she's a good person. You know, but... Yeah. Next up, you had Danhausen pick up the victory over Dominic in Human Monies on a pole match, and this matchup was fun.
I didn't
hate
this at all.
Entertaining.
People are like, this is the worst match in WWE history. No, not at all.
The worst part about it is the entire. Look at Dominic. He's not even wearing this attire, and he looks miserable there.
He didn't wear the Mega Championship. He doesn't want to be there.
Exactly. I hate that so much.
Which, by the way, we're speaking of gear. Danhausen's Bret Hart gear was fire.
Dude, that was awesome.
JD McDonough got involved.
Awesome.
The Mini-Hausens jumped him. And then Torito-Hausen was there as well, showed up. Mm-hmm. The Judgment Day came back. And then Joe Hendry came out and smashed the guitar over JD McDonough. That guitar went flying into the crowd. That was pretty cool.
Now, we just don't know who... We don't know if Danhausen said anything for him to come out.
That man, Booker T on that commentary was hilarious. Nobody said his name. What are you doing? Well, nobody said it. I thought that was so funny. Which, by the way, was cool funny. if you were listening to WWE Radio. You got the ad libs for Trick Williams' entrance as well. But Dom almost won, and Danhausen ends up cursing him. The pyro goes off. He fell.
Oh, he didn't even fall properly like he cared, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Dom doesn't want to be there.
He didn't do the spot of, he didn't ride the rope, or he didn't do the spot.
Like,
oh my goodness.
Shut up.
Yes, I agree with you. Say it.
And then Danhausen won the match. I didn't think this match sucked at all. I was perfectly fine with this match.
Why can't you have entertaining matches? Like, this was entertaining.
Not once did I see this and be like, I'm embarrassed watching this.
Not at all.
Part of me wants to sign up to be a Mini-Hausen.
Yo, do it. Do it. You could be like that comedian.
Yeah, perhaps.
Brad
Williams.
Yeah, Brad Williams. You know, he went on multiple interviews, saying that he wants to be with Danhausen, and hey, he got to do it at SummerSlam. That's incredible.
He's at least famous in proportionate, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to be like Fathausen or something.
Ay. All right, well, next up you had Chad Gable pick up the victory over Penta to become the new champion. And this is Chad Gable's first singles championship in how was it phrased?
In WWE.
In WWE, yeah.
I thought it was interesting that they played up his shoulder injury, which was a callback to him. Literally, he injured his shoulder against Penta.
Mm-hmm.
And that was throughout the match, and I thought that was very well done, including Penta hitting silence on him. At one point, Chad Gable got busted open. Penta did a German suplex on the apron, and then later he hit the Mexican Destroyer on the apron as well. Chad Gable turned another attempt for that into an ankle lock and got the victory. And I was very happy to see Chad Gable finally. That's, again, just like Chelsea Green. I was very happy to see Chad Gable win that championship.
The one thing I hated about this was the root beer.
Well, that was...
I did not like that.
I thought I had no... I mean, his family came out and celebrated. After the match, he did like a condensed version of the AAA Unmasking speech. And then...
Yeah.
Well, before that even, Penta took that championship from him, which people booed. I'm like, what, he's stupid? Obviously, he's going to...
Yeah, he's going to give it to him.
And then he put it around Gable's waist. But yeah, Chad Gable's family came into the ring. And then that mug root beer mascot, he gave him a drink. And then I kept thinking someone was going to be there to like debut or return and attack Chad Gable. Because why the what the fuck?
Yeah,
what was that?
Why? Like, why?
And like, I could understand if Chad Gable was someone who didn't drink, but we know he drinks, so that, like, I mean, sponsors are sponsors, but what the hell was that?
Yeah, why? Not needed. Not needed.
But, I mean, obviously it was needed. They got paid big time, probably.
I mean, true.
Also, he does seem like someone who would enjoy mug root beer, so.
Hey, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with mug root beer.
I don't drink root beer. I hate root beer.
Really?
I drank it. I mean, I typically never order root beer. When we went to that state fair, whatever it was, years ago, they had that soda fountain thing. I forget what it was called, but you get it on like unlimited refills with the cup.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
And that one of the big things that they had was like the root beer that they touted, and like sarsaparilla as well. So I had it then. I forget when else I've had root beer, but it just tastes like mint to me. Like I don't like Dr. Pepper. To me, that's gross also.
Okay, I could understand that.
There's a new place in Disney Springs that makes their own root beer.
Mm-hmm.
And all the influencers went out to taste test, and people were like, well, I don't like this. So it's funny. And it's the place, there's a cookie shop, Gideon's Bakery, that has like hour-long lines for cookies. And they opened up a food part, which I thought was going to be a restaurant. It's just literally a takeout, but you're getting Hot Pockets. You're getting like $11 Hot Pockets. So you make the choice there, and I'm sure they're still gonna have hour-long waits for that. But the main event of SummerSlam saw Roman Reigns pick up the victory over Seth Rollins to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins, we saw, had a nod to the Shield with his entrance and gear, and then offered up his white Shield vest to Roman Reigns. And this match, for me, wasn't a street fight. They fought outside the ring a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Too much leeway from the referee for me.
Agreed about that.
Seth Rollins at one point went to spear Roman Reigns through the barricade. I thought that was cool. But Roman Reigns caught it and then powerbombed him through the commentary table. Then Seth Rollins powerbombed Roman Reigns through a commentary table. And then the referee starts counting. I was like, what? How does that make sense? They traded a bunch of moves back and forth. On a punch, Seth Rollins bumped into the referee. Hits that Ambrose clothesline with a shout out from Michael Cole. And then he went for dirty deeds. Roman Reigns reversed it and hit dirty deeds. And it's like that, like stuff like that.
Wait, what do you
my
mean?
heart.
Shout out for Michael Cole. He said Dean Ambrose.
Yeah,
I didn't even.
he
catch
called
that.
it. He called it the wacky line, which I believe used to be something they said, but and they did mention Dean Ambrose. Ambrose was mentioned a lot.
He actually said Ambrose.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even hear that.
And then Roman Reigns accidentally speared the referee. That's because you were hard working on live streaming on TikTok.
That is true. Everybody, make sure that you check us out on TikTok.
So
for
Roman
live
accidentally
sessions.
hits the referee. Seth stomped Roman and grabbed a chair, and Roman pops up, hits him in the face, teases that Shield chair spot, and ends up throwing it down. He hits a Superman punch. Seth hits the pedigree. He missed the stomp and then hit it. And then missed one from the top rope. I thought that was weird. And then he ate 2 more spears and he had the corner spear to finally get Seth Rollins down.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was that like mutual respect afterwards. Roman Reigns did the Shield fist and Seth did it back. And they had the mask in the middle.
And I still think that the mask in the middle is symbolism.
I mean, obviously
Dean
it
Ambrose.
represents Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
But it's just like an end of a chapter until Jon Moxley comes back, if he ever does.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
I don't know
for
about
sure.
that.
He is. They always come back. They always do.
Yeah, for a Hall of Fame induction or something.
No. He'll be back.
Moving
I
over
spoke to him the
to
other week.
Monday Night Raw, which kicked off with Roman Reigns, interrupted by LA Knight, who congratulated him for beating Seth Rollins all by himself, and then called him a fraud because he's been calling him out for months. He beat the Bloodline. Now he wants a one-on-one match with nobody, no outside interference. And Roman Reigns was like, it doesn't work like that. Get to the back of the line. I popped big time during this. LA Knight spelled out "you suck" with that phonetic alphabet, like the Shield intro. I thought that was really funny. And then
That was good.
Later, he spoke to the Bloodline and said, like, being equals doesn't work if he's winning and they're losing. And he questioned Royce Keys being Jacob Fatu's family. He keeps hearing that. And Roman Reigns also said, like, they blew their chance with LA Knight. So now he has to deal with LA Knight. And then right after that, LA Knight got in their faces making fun of the fact that Roman Reigns basically just said, like, you're done. You can't touch him. He's my problem.
This was so entertaining.
And then Royce Keys tried to talk to Jacob Fatu, and Jacob Fatu reiterated what Roman Reigns had said. And that led to a challenge for a street fight for the main event, which we'll talk about in a moment.
Yeah, I thought that was I thought it was very good.
In a perfect world,
very,
LA
very
Knight
good.
does take that title from Roman Reigns, but
I mean, no, stop it. What am I thinking? Stop it. I'm not even going to. Next match. Javon Evans picked up the victory over Ethan Page. It was good.
I thought all the move evasions from Javon was really cool. I liked when Evans went for the springboard and Ethan Page pushed the ropes down, which he also he cheated multiple times during the match. And when the referee was dealing, like, giving Ethan Page what for, Javon Evans jumped over both of them and hits the OG, which, by the way, when he jumped over them, Ethan Page, he's not standing there frozen like a video game, waiting to take the move. He's looking for Javon Evans. I thought that was great. And then Javon hit that OG cutter and got the victory. I thought that was a fantastic setup there. I thought that was a great ending there. And then after the match, of course, Big Cass made his return, attacked Javon Evans. He said later on that it took him 8 years to get back to WWE. It's nothing personal with Javon. It's just he was in the way. I don't know where this leads.
I mean, in my opinion, I think that, it seems like the guy's going to be a heel right now.
Seems like he just attacked Javon Evans. I think he definitely is a heel.
I think he's definitely a heel, and it makes me wonder what is going to happen. Is Enzo really coming to WWE?
Doesn't seem like it. That shirt, by the way, sucks.
Yeah, that one.
It literally just looks like it says big ass, which is something that everybody made fun of with his Minitron years ago.
It's as if they didn't learn anything at all.
After that, though, we saw the Judgment Day, which Liv Morgan put Io over, and she said she doesn't see any challengers. So she'll be the longest reigning champion of all time. She put over Raquel Rodriguez in the Intercontinental Championship. She didn't really hype up Roxanne Perez as much as she did Raquel. She did say Roxanne will beat Sol Ruca.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go into that match where Sol Ruca beat Roxanne Perez via disqualification, which Sol Ruca controlled a majority of this match. I like that, that when Roxanne Perez went for Pop Rocks, that was countered into the X Factor. I thought that was a really cool way of getting out of that. But
cool.
Liv Morgan got caught attacking Sol Ruca. Raquel Rodriguez took Sol Ruca down. By that point, the match was over. Roxanne hit Pop Rocks. Yeah, she got hit with the Tejana Bomb. And then, I wasn't expecting this at all, Becky Lynch returned.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming either.
And she said she's not there for Raquel Rodriguez. She's there for Liv Morgan. Raquel, by the way, has a custom Intercontinental Championship with barbed wire on it and all these marks in the IWC. What does this have to do with Raquel? Brother, for years she's included. For years she has had barbed wire in her gear. For years. So
I just don't think fans pay attention.
Brother, open your eyes. But she's not there for Raquel. She's there for Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan told her she should be at home being a mom because her time is done. And then Stephanie Vaquer returned, attacked Liv Morgan, and Stephanie Vaquer told Becky Lynch to stay out of her way. And Becky Lynch was like, or what? I was expecting to see a return from Stephanie Vaquer on Monday Night Raw. I was not expecting Becky Lynch.
And Becky Lynch she roasted and owned Liv Morgan on that mic. She really did roast her really, really hard.
Which, how long was she out for her to do a complete 180 there?
I think just WrestleMania.
Exactly. She literally, she was a heel, and then now she's getting cheered? I don't know.
Yeah, that's pro wrestling.
Backstage, we saw Oba Femi run into Paul Heyman, who had just watched a video package they aired for Brock Lesnar, and he told Paul Heyman that he never got to thank Brock for what he said to him. So when he sees him, tell him thanks. And Paul's like, I could do that. And he congratulated Oba Femi. Oba went to the ring, and he said the beasts can finally rest. But now his destiny is to lead the future. And if anybody has a problem with that, they'll answer to him. And then for that next match, we saw Bron Breakker, the Vision, come out. Bron Breakker stared a hole through Oba Femi.
Yeah.
For minutes.
And Breakker's not happy.
Yeah, Bron Breakker goes on to beat Joe Hendry, but he was pissed about what Oba Femi said. He was in a trance.
He even let Paul Heyman know to backstage,
Yeah, the match we saw, the match was whatever. We saw Joe Hendry, first of all, take out Austin Theory. He hopped over a spear, but then ends up eating one when he got back into the ring. Theory continues the attack on Joe Hendry. Akira Tozawa made the save. And then backstage, Braun Breaker, he, like you said, he was furious. And he asked Paul Heyman, where's Oba? And Paul's like, why would I know? He goes, I thought you're your new best friend.
Yeah.
Little jealousy.
Big time jealousy. Big time.
After that, we saw Chad Gable come out. He thanked Penta and put him over. And he thanked the fans. And he said he was proud to be Intercontinental Champion. And then Penta came out and gave Chad Gable props. And he called him a true luchador. And then the Judgment Day interrupted. And JD McDonough said that Chad Gable peaked against El Grande Americano. And Dom said that they can end Chad Gable at any time. And he made a challenge that sets up a tag team match, which Dom accepted. And we go into that tag team match. We see Chad Gable and Penta pick up the victory over the Judgment Day. And I thought they had good back and forth here.
I agree with you. This was a great back and forth match, and it was good to see Penta and Gable team up in this matchup, and the crowd loved it.
I mean, that pop for Chad Gable, when Dom got his boot up for the moonsault and Chad Gable landed and locked in that ankle lock, the fans went nuts for that spot. And then Penta took JD McDonough out of the match with a destroyer. Dom ends up loading his boot up for the 619, and Chad Gable caught that 619. He took the hammer out. Penta, when the referee was distracted, used that Intercontinental Championship. And then Chad Gable was able to hit Chaos Theory and get the victory. He used a taste of their medicine.
Yeah.
He delivered a taste of their own medicine.
He definitely delivered it.
So,
main event of the evening. Fatu picked the victory over Royce Keys in a street fight. And I gotta say, this was definitely a street fight. This was a street fight that, when you hear street fight, this is kind of what you're expecting.
And we've seen so many matches like this recently that, like, it kind of felt a bit like a live event match to me and not something that would be the main event of Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, that. I mean, obviously it was a good main event there, but, like, the fact that we've seen so many matches like this recently, I feel like took away from this actual match. What I did like was how long it took for them to first go for a pin. Because they were partaking in the street fight. So I enjoyed that. Royce Keys hit that power slam again, but from the middle rope onto chairs. Jacob Fatu hit the moonsault and locked on the Tongan death grip. The referee called for the match, and Jacob Fatu held on. And then he let it go. He locked it in again. Royce Keys bleeding from the mouth. And Roman Reigns came out to just give him a head nod. Jacob Fatu wrapped that chair around Royce Keys' neck. He hit that running corner attack. What's next there, we don't know. But Roman Reigns goes to the back.
Before you go to the back, this entire part, it was so cool to see, right? Like, it's always fun to see Fatu just tear house. But to do it to Royce Keys, that's where I'm like, what's happening with Royce Keys now? I mean, they had that entire blood coming from the mouth spot, and I saw IWC blowing up about the capsule on the mat.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it too. But, like, this made Royce Keys not look all too strong unless Royce Keys comes out of this.
I mean, not too strong. They were in a street fight, and he was pretty much passed out.
That's the thing. I'm like, I feel like, in my opinion, we haven't seen enough of Royce Keys being, like, just pure domination, and this isn't going to be any good.
I don't think it harmed him here.
You don't?
No.
Why?
Because we've seen the back and forth between the two.
So how do you recover Royce Keys now? Or what do you do next
whenever he
Royce
comes
Keys?
back, he gets his revenge on Jacob Fatu. Obviously, it can't be a normal match.
All right, so you still keep Royce Keys with Fatu, and you have Royce Keys get him back one.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine with me. I could get down with that.
But Roman Reigns goes to the back, and puzzlingly, Rey Mysterio is there to shake his hand.
Yeah,
and
when that first happened, I was like, this is like, it was like weird because they go backstage and you just see Rey Mysterio standing there shaking Roman Reigns his hand, and you're like, that's so random. Like, why is Rey Mysterio back there?
And he mentioned, he goes, I'm the general manager of AAA, right? And he goes, I do now.
Which I liked because a lot of people don't watch AAA.
Right.
That may watch Monday Night Raw. A lot of people may not watch AAA and know that he is the general manager of AAA. So for him to say, I'm the general manager of AAA, I thought that was so important and explained so much for the people that do not know.
And Ray was like, let me run something by you, and they went and talked. And I thought for sure this was leading to Rey Mysterio maybe also asking CM Punk to team up with Roman Reigns to take on El Ojo, who tried to strong-arm him recently, Dominic and Omos, at Worlds Collide. However, it was announced that there's going to be a tournament of the best luchadors from Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and AAA. And the winner's going to challenge Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw in Mexico City. So I am very pumped for that match. They showed off La Parka. They showed off Psycho Clown, I believe.
Yeah, I think he was in there.
El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. Dragon Lee, who's... I feel like he's injured right now, but I don't know if he's going to be like taking time off for his injury.
And they're all going to be featured on Monday Night Raw.
I think it has to be. The rumors came out from the Observer saying that the front runner is El Grande Americano, which I think would be an absolute mistake because that weekend before is Triple Mania, where you have to assume he's beating Dominic Mysterio for that mega championship.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he should even be in this tournament. I think, like you said, it should be Penta. And I think what it should come down to is Penta versus Phoenix. Like, obviously,
okay,
Penta versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship main event of Monday Night Raw is a huge match to have.
Yeah, but if you do have... El Grande involved
don't even
in this?
put it out there. Don't.
That's the only way, though.
There's like no, like you can't have him win the mega championship and then lose to Roman Reigns.
Oh no, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say that have somebody take him out from the AAA roster. Yeah. Have somebody take out,
which would probably be Los Perros del Mal, but still, I feel like don't have him in. Don't do this to him.
That's the one thing I could say. I wouldn't see him against Reigns and losing, but I could see El Grande entering the tournament and then being just taken out, whether it's if it's just during. It would be
such a bad look to me if you just crown him that mega champion and then he gets put in a tournament to face the World Heavyweight Champion and then gets taken out of it. Even like, just don't have him in that at all.
You're not wrong.
I don't want him in that at all.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So that's Monday Night Raw. I thought for sure we were going to have that, even though Roman Reigns and CM Punk were like, we're never teaming again. I thought maybe we would see them do that favor for Rey Mysterio, but no. Especially, I now still have to assume CM Punk's working that Worlds Collide event. But moving over to NXT, it kicked off with Jada Parker and Thea Hale picking up the victory over Carmen Petrovich and Nikita Lyons. I thought this match was good. Natty got up on the apron.
I thought it was...
Jada Parker knocked her off with the Hypnotic, and then she hit the teardrop on Lyons. And then Thea Hale hit the senton on her to win. honestly thought that Thea Hale would have been the one to end up losing the match. And then after the match, Natty attacked. They joined in. Thea Hale came out on top. That whole segment surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
After that, Tony D'Angelo came out and he spoke about Grayson Waller and basically said he's not going to be used as a stepping stone. And he moved on to Cruz Montana, called him out, but Grayson Waller showed up instead. And Tony told Waller, like, come say it to my face. And he also went through their War Games match, their War Games team, and he was like, everybody who was part of that went on to become champion except for you. Even Trick Williams, who wasn't in the match, went on to be champion. And Grayson Waller spoke about the roster, and then Cruz Montana came out, and he said that he has no other option but to be there. And he spent years proving that he belongs there.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony was like, you guys need to settle this. Like, have Robert Stone set up a match between the two of you. So we'll probably see that. And then we saw Tristan Angels later on getting in Cruz Montana's face about being the new guy there. And Cruz is like, brother, I did this last year. When did you get here? And he's like, about 3 months ago. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
So he like ran down his NXT history to be like, brother, I was here before you.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we saw Ren Sinclair versus Zarya end in a draw, which Ren Sinclair retained the Speed Championship. And I think this was a match that Ren needed to win to prove that she belongs.
And I thought she definitely did that. You know, Ren Sinclair, I feel like, doesn't get enough of the respect at times. And I think she definitely going to a draw with Zarya. That says a lot.
And it's like, I don't like the idea of Zarya losing. I didn't want to see Ren lose that title. And with like 10 seconds left, Zarya speared her out of the ring. She gets her back in for the F5 setup. Ren reversed that. And then obviously the ref calls the match. That's it. And then Zarya hit the F5 afterwards. And Ren Sinclair, because she survived that match, because she left as champion, she now gets a North American Championship match. So we will see them run that back.
Mm-hmm.
We saw OTM backstage. And Bronco Nima apologized to Lucian Price for last week. And Price was like, I just need to find my backup plan. And then Birthright showed up to make fun of him, and Price challenged Lexis King to a match. And he was like, maybe that's my backup plan. Being the Speed Champion. So I assume we'll see that match.
And it could definitely be a good one. Next up, you had No Quarter Catch Crew pick up the victory over the Vanity Project to become the new champions. I feel like, how long has Vanity Project been champions for?
I would say maybe 3 months or so.
Wow. I didn't even realize it was that long already.
And I wasn't expecting that outcome. Tavion Heights had said he doesn't know, like, if he lost, he doesn't know what he would do.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, and I mean, we saw Vanity Project cheated so much in this match that I could have seen No Quarter Catch Crew lose, but I mean, Bourne, he did so much work in this match, and then Heights, he gets tagged in, does like one move, and then tags back out, and I was like, what? That makes no sense. And commentary was even like, brother, why would you tag out if your Miles Bourne was just in there for so long? But then I like the stuff they did, like mirrored moves between both teams. And Vanity Project again cheated. The referee sends them to the back, and Tavion Heights hits that huge belly-to-belly and gets the victory. That went a completely different way than I thought it was going to. And I honestly, congrats to Tavion Heights for winning the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Miles Bourne now a double champion.
Yeah, that's true. Next up, you had Keanu Carver pick up the victory over E.K. Prosper.
Get into it.
No.
EA Sports? No.
Oh. Yeah.
But Prosper is so good.
Agreed.
That standing corner moonsault was great. And also, I feel like we saw Kiana Carver do a lot more in this match. Like, be more energetic, less mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought both of them worked well together. EK Prosper, just absolutely impressive. That Swanton blockbuster was great. He kicked out of that midair suplex. The power bomb. Ironically, Carver used a small package to get the victory. I thought that was an unexpected outcome as well.
Surprising? Yeah, I didn't expect that either.
Yeah. And then the main event of NXT saw Kendall Gray pick up the victory over Lola Vice in an underground match to retain the NXT Women's Championship. This was great. The Hurricane Rana from Kendall to the outside was nice. Lola Vice, man, at one point she pulled Kendall Gray from the ring into the ring steps, and that cut Kendall's ear. Or did something to Kendall's ear, and they wrapped it during commercial. I mean, I saw the video of afterwards. I don't know if that was a shoot or what. I'm leaning towards. I don't know.
Shoot.
I don't know where to lean. Because
wall?
of that video after. Well, what would like a busted eardrum or something? I don't know what would have.
That's what it looked like. It looked like it was a busted eardrum. You know, it's just. I mean, I hope that it was a work. Of course, you never want to see anybody like that get hurt. So,
but also,
if it's a work,
also if it wasn't a work, kudos. By the way, Brie Bella also they said that they wanted to call the match off. She wanted to finish the match. Kudos if this wasn't a work to Kendall Gray for going out there and completing this match.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the one spot I didn't like when Hank and Tank got involved. They caught Kendall and they saved her from falling out of the ring. But that then sent her into Lola Vice, and I didn't get that. I didn't get that spot. But Lola Vice locked in a sleeper. Kendall Gray got out of it. Vice got out of the reversal and then accidentally knocks the referee. And she locked in the sleeper again, and Kendall Gray was basically out. And Ren Sinclair ends up giving her a pep talk. She slaps her a few times to hype her up. I thought the whole ending of this match was crazy. And she finally wins that match.
There was so much taking place.
Yeah, and she wins that match with the armbar. Just like a fantastic champion. I have to assume this is now Lola Vice's. She lost on AAA, the championship. I have to assume she's going to SmackDown now.
I mean...
Incredible run for Lola Vice in NXT.
Yeah, this was an incredible run by her, and I thought that the ending was fantastic. I mean, hopefully Kendall Gray is okay and everything, and it's a work. But that ending was awesome. The way that she locked in that arm bar, it looked really, really good. And like you said, we have to assume that this was the swan song for Lola Vice to send off, because at the off of TV, you had Damian Priest come out even. You know, you had Damian Priest come out in street gear to give her a hug and give her flowers and stuff in front of the... Yeah, I don't know. And give her flowers in front of the audience and stuff like that. So you have to assume that that's it for Lola Vice. But her coming up to the main roster, I am so excited to see her there. I mean, where do you stick her now?
Yeah,
I would
unfortunately,
like her versus Chelsea Green right off the bat.
A lot of people come up to the main roster and get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, would you put her in a match with?
I don't know, because we don't even know when Rhea Ripley is returning yet.
Oh no, I was Chelsea.
Yeah, I understand what you said, but Rhea Ripley is the champion, so we're obviously eventually going to have to lead to. I mean, unless they take the title from Chelsea and put it on Lola, I don't see that happening though. Then it would lead to Lola.
You could have
Rhea.
her face Chelsea and have Chelsea win.
Yeah, that's...
Well, it doesn't have to win.
True as well, but I don't... who knows when she comes up? We don't know if she's on SmackDown this week. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely assume, we could definitely agree that the interim aspect, the verbiage of interim is just, I hate it so much. Taken from UFC it's just stupid. And you have somebody drop a title or vacate a title, that's it. You don't need an interim. Okay, when they come back, maybe they could just give them a matchup for a number one contender. Yeah. And that's it. Like, it's that simple. They don't have to go right into the title match. Have them come back and have one match against whoever's been earning that spot. And if they go over, they go over. If they don't, then that's it.
Yeah.
Hate interims.
Well, that is NXT. Moving over to SmackDown. It kicked off with Cody Rhodes, and he called Randy Orton out. That didn't happen. And he spoke about Dory Funk Jr., he spoke about WrestleMania in Philadelphia, his match at SummerSlam, and he said he's going to assume that CM Punk didn't know about Randy Orton, to which CM Punk then came out and said that he didn't know about it, and said that he's also pissed off that Orton did that. And Cody left to go find him. CM Punk told him, rematch whenever. Name the time or whatever. Kevin Owens came out, stared down Cody Rhodes, and then he and CM Punk started arguing. Nick Aldis came out, a bunch of officials, just to make sure nothing's going to happen. And Kevin Owens spoke about his injury. He spoke about how people told him to give CM Punk another shot because he's a changed man. He doesn't believe it because he knows that's not true. And CM Punk said Kevin Owens benefited the most from him, from the things that he did in WWE. And Kevin Owens said CM Punk helped him see what not to become. And it got personal, it got physical, just a push. But it did get physical there. And then later on, Sami Zayn yelled at Nick Aldis for screwing him again. Kevin Owens showed up and said that he wants that title match in Toronto. I believe that's in 2 weeks on SmackDown. And Sami said he's happy for Kevin Owens, but Kevin needs to acknowledge that his return screwed him. And he also offered help to Kevin Owens to beat CM Punk. Kevin Owens said he's got it. And then later on, CM Punk spoke to Sami Zayn and told him, just say it to his face. And Sami called him a fraud. So I thought that was all interesting. Later on, Randy Orton went to the ring, and Cody Rhodes came out. Orton left the ring, and he told Cody that Cody asked for this version of him before WrestleMania. And he said that he'll do everything in his power to make sure Cody Rhodes never becomes WWE champion again. And he's going to take it from whoever's champion. Doesn't matter if it's a CM Punk, Kevin Owens. And Cody reminded Randy Orton that he's the last legend there. And he questioned who will kill the legend killer. We saw Baron Corbin pick up the victory over Trick Williams to retain the championship. Trick controlled so much of this match. He went for a trick shot at one point. Corbin hit the deep six. Corbin tried to use the title again. The referee took it away, and Corbin turned into a bookend. He went for a trick shot. Corbin ducked it. He went for an end of days, to which Trick got out of, and he hit the trick shot. But Baron Corbin was really close to the rope, grabbed the rope to break the pin, and then when the referee was dealing with Trick Williams, turned away, Corbin used the title and then got the pin there. And then later on, he was interviewed. I thought that segment was great from both Baron Corbin and Kathy Kelly. But he basically said nobody can take that title from him. And Carmelo Hayes showed up and attacked Corbin, laid him out. And he said that he's got a title shot next week in Boston. We saw Chelsea Green's championship celebration. She thanked a bunch of people. She thanked Tiffany Stratton. And Stratton came out. Chelsea apologized for pushing her off the ladder and also wanted to toast Tiffany Stratton. And Tiffany went to say something, immediately interrupted by Fatal Influence. And JC blamed Tiffany Stratton for not being champion right now. And she announced that she's going to because she's not focused on the women's championship right now, she wants to do harm to Tiffany Stratton and take the U.S. championship from her. And Stratton said that she'll give her a title match next week if they give them a tag team title match right there. So we then go into Fatal Influence, picking up the victory over Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton to retain. I feel like a lot went into this, but a lot at the same time did not go into this. I feel like it could have been a much different match. I don't like Chelsea Green losing there. And then on top of that, Lash Legend and Nia Jax attacked afterwards. And Nia held up the championship. So obviously that's where we're headed to next. They had a video segment for Nikki Bella, and she spoke about what she did to Paige. And she blamed Brie's injury on Paige and said that she's going to make sure, like, Paige, whatever's left in her career is pure misery. And then you go to the main event. Charlotte Flair picked up the victory over Jade Cargill. And Flair told Jade she wants this fight one-on-one. And it was pretty physical at times. And I think Jade had some good reversals, like that roll through from the diving crossbody, the power bomb from the middle rope as well. But at the end of the match, Charlotte Flair locked in the figure eight, and the baddies showed up. And they were able to break that up for Jade Cargill. And then Alexa Bliss returned. And she still had her arm in the protector gimmick. And the brace. And she had Lily. And she did some gimmick. The lights cut out. And when the lights came back on, Tatum Paxley was on the top ring post and then dove onto Mia Yim and B-Fab to take them out. So it was really cool to see Tatum Paxley, I guess technically debut there. And I am very intrigued by this. That evens up the team for Charlotte, Alexa, and now Tatum Paxley against the baddies and Jade Cargill. But Flair uses the Sister Abigail DDT. She then goes to the top rope, hits a natural selection from up there, gets the victory there. So, like I said, I'm intrigued with that. I'm happy to see Tatum Paxley. Obviously, we're big fans of her on Markin Out, but that is SmackDown. I'm going to take a quick little break, and I'll be right back here on Markin Out.
Hi, this is Dennis Haskins, Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell, and you're listening to Markin Out.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Markin Out, episode 809. Moving back to week 2 of Verano de Escandalo. It opened up with La Parka picking up the victory over Lince Dorado and Mecha Wolf to advance to Triple Mania for that vacant Latin American Championship match. And I thought this was a fun triple threat. I like La Parka hitting that rolling stunner to both of them. I thought that sit-out powerbomb from La Parka on Mecha Wolf was about to be the end of the match. But it wasn't. We saw La Parka throw Mecha Wolf into the ropes at one point, which crotched Lince Dorado. Lince hit a springboard stunner, which then triggered a crucifix driver. I thought that was cool, from Mecha Wolf to La Parka. And then La Parka kicked out of the Shooting Star Press, and Mecha Wolf spit poison at Lince Dorado, and La Parka eventually hit that splash and then hit Thriller to get the victory there. We saw Los Wagner brothers pick up the victory over Dinamico and Drago. They showed off their quickness against El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., but he tore them apart pretty quickly. And then Galeno absolutely flattened them. The main event saw Fenix pick up the victory over Mini Vikingo to retain the championship. If you did not see this match, you need to go back and watch this match. This match was so entertaining. It was so fun. It was amazing. Their reversals, their dodges, I thought were great. I wish this was longer. But they did so much in this match. I think Mini Vikingo would be absolutely awesome on SmackDown against Axiom or Nathan Fraser. But this match, there were so many things that were just so well done. That one kick from Fenix to Mini Vikingo mid-air was absolutely crazy. Later on, Mini Vikingo missed the Phoenix Splash, And Phoenix went for the Mexican Muscle Buster. I was like, oh, that's about to be it. Mini Vikingo rolled through that. I wasn't expecting that at all. And then obviously a bit later on, Phoenix did hit that standing Mexican Muscle Buster and got the victory. And then Dorian Roldan whispered something to Mini Vikingo backstage. So I don't know if he's going to, maybe try to recruit him for El Ojo, like one of those enemy friend gimmicks. I don't know. I don't know if that would necessarily make sense, but I couldn't imagine what he would have whispered to Mini Vikingo. Moving over to TNA Impact, it kicked off with Matt Hardy picking up the victory over Ryan Nemeth. Nick got involved, which led to Jeff taking him out, and then that distracted Ryan, and he got hit with a twist of fate. Later on, the Righteous met with the Hardys, and they all shook hands. And then the Righteous also had a segment in the ring where they spoke about waiting for their next opponents or looking for their next opponents. I think with Lockdown coming up, in a perfect world, we can see the Hardy Boys retain the championships against the Nemeths, and then the Nemeths start beating them down, and the Righteous make the save. And after the Righteous make the save, the lights go out, and we get the Wyatt Six. I feel like that would be perfect. They already teased that. I mean, not TNA, but the Hardys and the Righteous teased that spot with the Wyatt Six from that autograph signing the other week. So I think that would be awesome to see. After that, Heather by Elegance picked up the victory over Mara Sade to advance in that Knockout TV title tournament. It was announced that Mara Sade's contract was up, and she's no longer with TNA, which really sucks. I think she's someone who should have been in the finals, if not as the winner. She grew so much in TNA. I think it seems like she'll be going to AEW. Maybe she'll go back to WWE. I think I would obviously like to see her go back to WWE if she's not going to stay in TNA. But she's just an absolutely tremendous worker. In this match, Heather by Elegance worked on Mara Sade's arm throughout it, and it came into play in the end. Heather by Elegance, I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it was a missile drop kick to Mara Sade's arm, but she was on the mat. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But she gets the victory. It also seems like we might be getting M versus Heather in the finals. So if that does come down to them, I hope this is M's time to shine. Because I think M has a match against Jada Stone, and Heather has a match against Indy Hartwell. So I think, if you asked me at the beginning of this, Jada Stone should have been somebody in the finals, and Indy would have been somebody in the finals, as well as Mara Sade. But I don't know. Commentary mentioned that, it could possibly be those two against each other. And if they do that, like I said, hopefully it's M. We saw Casey Navarro pick up the victory over Brian Myers via disqualification. Bear Bronson cheated in front of the referee. I don't know why that wasn't the DQ right then and there. But Ricky Sosa showed up and attacked him with a chair to make him leave. And then Eddie Edwards jumped Casey Navarro to cause that disqualification. Fabian Eichner made the save. And then Santino comes out, sets up a match where we see the System pick up the victory over Casey Navarro and Fabian Eichner because Alicia Edwards slid in that kendo stick. And Eddie Edwards hit Casey Navarro with it. The referee was distracted. And then he hit the package pile driver and got the victory. And before the System could do anything else, Ricky Sosa ran back out with that chair and cleared the ring. Also later, there was a sit-down with Cedric Alexander where the outcome of that, basically, if he beats Leon Slater at Lockdown, Leon Slater's history in TNA gets erased. Like they just delete his reign, which is stupid. Like, if he's not going to win, that's dumb. That's really dumb. That's really dumb. Backstage, we saw Jason Hotch yell at Mustafa Ali for putting his hands on his wife. Ali had spoken to the wife earlier. And then they all argued, and Hotch quit Order 4. And he wanted John Skyler to join him, and Skyler was like, I need the job. And I don't understand why he didn't ask Tasha Steelz to also leave with him. We also saw that the Bunny is still looking for Rosemary. And people seem to think that we might be seeing, in that report with Mara Sade's, and Jody Threat is also gone. In that report, they announced that a knockout will be, I don't know if they said a knockout, but I assume it was, a former champion will be returning. And people seem to think it might be Zelina Vega here, who took out Rosemary. I think that'd be perfect. And if she's in TNA, hopefully that means Tommy End is in TNA, which is absolutely insane seeing him bald now. But I think that would be a perfect fit to, I mean, we've seen what Zelina can do in that realm a little bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully that happens. We saw Hometown Man pick up the victory over AJ Francis. Elijah distracted AJ Francis, and this was just a beyond quick match. Earlier in the night, Xia Brookside said that she's not letting anybody take that championship, especially from to NXT. She also addressed Elena Black, and Elena Black showed up, but Brookside threatened her. I thought this was a really good segment with Xia Brookside. And then you go to the main event. Xia Brookside picked up the victory over Wendy Chu to retain. I thought this was a good main event. Wendy Chu almost choked Xia Brookside out, and as a last-ditch effort, Xia Brookside, she lunged at the ropes to break that up. And then she hit Darkseid, got the victory. And Elena Black came out afterwards to stare her down. I don't want to see Xia Brookside's reign end yet, but I almost feel like Elena Black has to do something big here and has to beat Xia Brookside for that championship. To close out Impact, there was a contract signing. It was almost like a one-sided segment. This wasn't in front of the fans or anything. Jeff was painting while Nick Nemeth spoke to him, and that popped me. And Nemeth spoke about how he's never been beaten by Jeff Hardy, and he tried to get into his head, but it kind of seems like it was Jeff Hardy getting into Nick Nemeth's head here. But I thought the passion from Nick here was really well done, and I enjoyed this segment. So that was TNA Impact. Hey, Brennan, got any shout-outs?
Hey there, Hef. We should listen to Brandon's shout-outs.
Spider-Man Brand New Day gets the first shout-out. It literally just came out, and I am not going to spoil anything. I did like the movie. I just felt like it was less of a Spider-Man movie and more of a stepping stone to get somewhere else. But
obviously it's going to be a stepping stone to Doomsday, but everybody that I'm speaking to has great reviews of this movie, which is nice. No, I didn't see it. I know a little bit about what happens, but
I understand people who are like, this movie sucked, because it just, to me, it wasn't a Spider-Man movie.
Why would it suck?
Because it wasn't a Spider-Man movie. You go into this hoping for a Spider-Man movie, it's not.
Now you have me confused because I don't know what that means with a Spider-Man movie.
Well, when you see it,
in my mind,
when you see it, you'll find out.
Yeah.
But.
All right. Yeah. Like, to me, I'm going into this expecting it to be a lead up to Doomsday, obviously. Yeah. Which is coming out December 18th. So you need some lead up to it.
By the way, am shocked at the things that I was wrong about. And I feel like those things would have made it feel more like a Spider-Man film. And I think, honestly, I feel like a big part of maybe why people didn't like this movie, No Way Home was such an incredible Spider-Man movie. So I think it's hard to live up to that, especially you have, like, the involvement, like I think one of the craziest moments in MCU history happened in that film.
Which one? What was that moment?
With Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Oh yeah. I always confuse that with the one previous with what's his face? Mephisto.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Mysterio.
I always confused with that. Yeah, Mysterio. I always forget what that title is and stuff like that. But
yeah, I mean, especially with the direction that they went in for this, I liked the Punisher in this. I liked the world post No Way Home for Peter Parker. But I feel like if you went into this movie with the expectations of, oh, this isn't a Spider-Man film, you would maybe enjoy it more. For those of the people that hated it. So, but I thought it was a fantastic movie. I'm a big fan of Spider-Man, so. My next shout out goes to Breaking Bear, which is a brand new adult animated show on Tubi, starring Brendan Fraser, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Josh Gad, Annie Murphy, Chris Parnell, Elizabeth Hurley. They are bears. Some of them are wolves. They're bears who they start selling drugs to raise money to save their home, basically. But it's like Yogi Bear. And I have to assume here meets Breaking Bad, because the only thing I know about Breaking Bad is they make drugs. So I feel like that's obviously the inspiration there. But there really aren't a lot of people talking about this show. And of the people talking about it, they seem to be very negatively talking about it. But it's a crude show. And it's absolutely crazy that the cast is in a show like this. But I think it's a decent show to just pass time. Like, I laugh at some of this stuff in there. If you're into that kind of humor, I think you'll enjoy this show. Mm-hmm. And like I said, the cast is stacked. It's just something like they're not making. It's not like a cartoon that like has to change the world or anything. I just think it's a fun show to watch. My last shout out, speaking of the world, Stewart fails to save the universe. Have you heard anything about this movie? I mean, why did I say movie? TV show.
TV show. No, don't spoil this one, because this I actually want to see.
Really?
It's out? Yeah. I like Big Bang Theory.
So this is a Big Bang Theory spinoff that follows Stewart. He was the guy that owned the comic book shop. Denise, Bert, and Barry Kripke are in this. They try to save the universe. He has to fix a quantum device that Sheldon and Howard and Leonard created. And basically what we get from this is an alternate universe of the Big Bang Theory. And it seems like a show that the main characters would mark out for. And I found it funny so far. I know other people who have watched Big Bang Theory, who liked Big Bang Theory, who said the show was not great. And when the trailer...
Is the entire series out?
No, it's weekly.
Okay.
There's only 3
so
episodes out so far. How can you
determine that it's a bad show? Like, how can you determine it's a bad show already?
I mean, you could tell if you enjoy it maybe from episode 1, but when it was first announced, I was iffy. And then when the trailer came out, I was beyond iffy. I was like, this doesn't seem like... I can't see this show going forever or what. I don't know what's going to happen in this show. But I've enjoyed what I've seen. And the full season's going to be out by I think the end of September on HBO Max. So and you get like cool pops here and there so far. So I have no complaints about this show. I'm not typically into stuff like this, but then I just did a whole shout out for Spider-Man where we saw stuff like this. So maybe I'm into it.
And I'm going into this. I really have no clue what to expect.
Well, I mean, did you even watch a trailer?
I watched a trailer, but I'm still so confused.
Like it doesn't
like
make it truly doesn't make sense as to why it's a TV show. But
yeah, like I really don't understand how really don't know. Like, it's like they took Dungeons and Dragons and made it reality.
It's like, it's an alternate universe, and they need to save the universe. So it's like, I don't know. It's a very confusing show. I don't even know how Chuck Lorre pitched that, but and I like it's not much of a spoiler, but every single intro is different. And it's like funny, so I appreciate that aspect. Normally, if a new show comes out, I watch the first intro and then that's it. I'm done. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll never need to watch another intro. This, you have to watch every intro. So I enjoyed it, but those are my shout-outs. Now it's time for our
Mark Out Moment of the Week.
That is right, our Mark Out Moment of the Week. I think right off the bat, Kevin Owens returning, first of all. I think big time.
Big time. That was just such a surprise. I mean, first to hear it becoming a triple threat, you're like, okay, like, this is cool. But then for him Nick Aldis to go into the entire aspect of, I'm adding Kevin Owens, was not expected. Not expected at all.
Also, Chelsea Green and Chad Gable winning.
Yeah, huge mark out moments. As Chelsea Green's come to life, climbing up there, and then Matt being in the crowd with her was really just nice to see, especially because being a married couple and having the ability to have Matt being front row to support her was really nice, because it's not too often where you have relationships on screen like that where they'll put the other pro wrestler who's an active wrestler in the front row,
right,
to do, like, I can't even think of the last time something like that has happened where an active pro wrestler on the roster was in the front row to support their legit spouse, and without being involved in the matchup too. Like, that's awesome. I marked out Randy Orton coming back.
Maybe Britt Baker, where they accidentally showed her. Like, years ago with Adam Cole in NXT.
Yeah, true. Randy Orton coming back, I was really happy to see.
I'm
really happy. I like that Randy looked at the camera, threw a wink, and then left.
I think all the Shield stuff, I had to mark out.
Yeah, the Dean Ambrose mask. Oh, but Family and
the Dean
Lesnar
Ambrose mask. They all wore that mask.
Stop it! Don't ruin my mark.
And Seth was wearing it.
It represented Dean. It represented Dean.
I will say on NXT, Shiloh Hill had a.
Oh, wait! Before you go to NXT, the Tombstone.
Oh yeah.
The Tombstone from Lesnar to Oba, I marked out for that because that was such a.
It was a very pivotal moment in his career where he beat the Undertaker.
Yeah, like when he hit that Tombstone, I was like, this has to be his last matchup, because he's doing, like you just said, a callback to the match that really, he was there at the top, but him defeating Undertaker, breaking the streak, even launched him even further into like an untouchable category. So for him to hit that Tombstone was just such a mark out moment. What were you going to say with NXT?
They aired a video for Shiloh Hill. He got injured. I forget what the injury they said. Something with his skull. But I think something with his skull. But he randomly started talking about the origin of the Poison Mist and the Great Kabuki, Great Muta, Tajiri, and just like that long rant where he goes, where he tells people, if people didn't know, that the Poison Mist was not started in Japan, it was started in Texas. And Gary Hart.
I didn't know that.
Gary Hart gave that to the Great Kabuki, and then the Great Kabuki took that to Japan.
No.
Yeah.
That's wild. You're gonna have to remind me that I'm interested in that and send it over because I had no clue.
Yeah.
Gary Hart. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Part of me wants to say he is. I feel like he was a legacy inductee.
Okay.
But I'm
he's
not
one of those guys that
sure.
He's one of those guys that's been so influential, but I don't know enough of him. But I do know that he is just like
he was put in the 2020 class.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing. Like I really don't know much of him besides that the guy is just legendary for what he was doing as a manager and everything like that.
Also a competitor.
And just innovative. Huh?
I said also a competitor.
Yeah. I got 2 for you.
For me?
I totally marked. Well, no, for the listeners, I marked out for hot ones the wing pong. I finally got around to watch it with Danhausen, R-Truth, Priest, The Miz, and Williams, and that was just hilarious. That was too funny. All of it was hilarious. I definitely popped for many moments, you know.
I saw the other one with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte.
I didn't watch all of that yet. I watched some of it. Did you watch the beer pong one or no?
No, I just saw clips.
Oh, you would pop. You would pop. It was really good. Another one is I'm going to share on behalf of Chris because he marked out for it, and I know that I marked out for it. But Danhausen, so Chris went to a concert of one of our friends, Anthony Capozzi, and he went to one of the concerts, and he was wearing his Danhausen New York Knicks basketball jersey at the concert. And somebody working at the concert, I guess, knows and is friends with Danhausen through the hardcore metal scene, music scene, because that's what Danhausen's into, and also Chris. So I guess this person saw Chris wearing the Danhausen jersey and asked Chris if he could take a picture of him and text it over to Danhausen. So he did that. He took a picture of Chris. He texted it to Danhausen, and lo and behold, Chris is actually on Danhausen's story feed on Instagram, which is just really cool. You know, just big, huge mark out for that one. So that's really awesome.
Yeah. But
anything else you got?
No, it's episode 809. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can follow us on Twitter at Markin Out at BTTG161 on all platforms. Chris Sweendog, CM Sweeney85, David PTDPT on all platforms. Facebook.com/Markin Out. YouTube and Instagram are Markin Out 11. ProWrestlingTees.com/Markin Out if you'd like to support us like that. Check us out on TikTok at Markin Out. You can rate, review, subscribe on all your podcasting platforms. Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, markinout.com, and we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Have a fantastic week.